Hey guys, Shani back with another process video today. So today I've got these printables that I've created. They're going to be free downloads that you can get. The link will be in the description. So if you want to use them on any of your pages for fall or Thanksgiving, you can print them and use them however. So it's just a PDF download, by the way. So it's super simple. You can do it on any computer. And so today, I'm just scrapbooking this little photo of my daughter. They were just from some of our fall pictures from last year. There's not really a big story behind it, but I just did kind of some more like journaling for her for the future. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim this paper down. I think I cut 3/4 off of 2 sides. And then I'm just going to go ahead and adhere that down with my tape runner. And I'm pulling out, I kind of pre-planned how I wanted this layout to go so it went kind of more smoothly. And I used a lot of my little cut apart printables that I made. And then, so I'm just laying it out how I've kind of decided I want it. And then I pre-cut out all these pieces just to make it faster so that y'all didn't have to sit and watch me cut out all of them because that would take forever. And then all the extras I'm just laying off to the side. So now I'm just going to go through and ink all the edges just to give it that nice distinction from the wood grain background, especially for those yellow pieces, because that wood grain has got kind of a yellow tint to it, so it kind of blends in a little bit, so it just helps it stand out a little more, especially the pieces that are going to be flat against the background. They're not going to be popped up at all, so it'll just give it a little bit more depth. So, but I'm going to go ahead and do all of the pieces, even the ones that aren't yellow, just for consistency. And these little tiny guys. These little banner pieces are just little squares. I think they're 3/4 of an inch by 3/4 of an inch. They would be really easy to do with any like pattern paper. If you just need an extra little embellishment, just cut a bunch of little squares and lay them out. And then at the very end, I'll go through and do just a simple straight stitch across the top on my sewing machine. So that could be something easy you could do with any pattern paper. And then I pulled out this Mr. Huey's, it's like a dark navy. It looks black on here, but it's a dark navy mist, and I'm just sprinkling it across the background in a nice little diagonal. And I'm trying to get an even mix of like big giant splatters and little tiny splatters. When I first started, the top right ended up with a lot of little tiny ones, and the bottom had a lot of big ones, so I was trying to even it out. And then I went through and like tried to dry it up. I ended up with ink all over my hands. I cut out the part where I went and like wiped my hands off because it was everywhere. So now that it's kind of dry, or mostly dry, I'll go back and just lay everything back out and start adhering everything down. And then I'm going to take, this is just craft foam, the fun foam, and cut it down just a little bit smaller than the picture in the little, I don't know, like the title card, I guess you could call it. Just cut it a little bit smaller and stick it on the back just to pop it up just a little bit, because that fun foam is not as thick as like normal foam tape or like foam squares, so it just gives it a nice little subtle lift up. And then I ripped it, but it's okay because it's covered up, so you're not going to see it. It's not a big deal. And then I just kind of pulled the edges up a little bit to give it some more height. I mean, like some more dimension, without making the page even bulkier. So, and just sticking all those pieces down. And then I did the same thing to the coffee cup, just a little bit, just pulling the edges up just a little with my nails. And I'm going to tuck that little November under. And you'll notice later in my journaling, so this picture, earlier I said this picture was from last year. It's not from last year. It is from 2016. It was her first fall. And so the year on my November is 2016, but this is obviously not 2016. So my journaling is from 2019. And I'll add like a little line in my journaling that says recorded in November 2019 or something like that, so that like I can either put it in chronological order where my photo's in the right year or where my journaling's in the right year, and I'm like looking back at her to explain what I'm saying. So either way. So now I'm just doing the little banner I was telling you about. I'm just adhering down just a little bit because they don't have to be stuck very well, because I'm going to go back and stitch over the top of them to give them their little string and just to hold everything down. And I like sewing on pages. I don't do it often enough, but it gives it a nice other texture that's not real distracting. So just a little extra detail that's kind of fun. And then I'm going to use, I was going to add journaling strips, but I wanted to add this piece before I add those so that I know where to put those. Not journaling strips, like the little phrase strips. But on this little guy, I wanted him to pop up a little bit more than the fa la la. And so what I did is I did a circle of craft foam, and then I did a half circle on the right side of craft foam. So the whole thing will be taller than the fa la la, but it will also come up to meet it as well, if that makes any sense. And then I'm adding these little phrase strips, which I realized later I should have waited until I did my other journaling strips and then decided where I wanted those, because they kind of get in the way, but it's fine. I really like how the page ends up, so I'm not upset about it at all. So I'm just gluing those down with my liquid Nuvo adhesive. This stuff's awesome if you ever need adhesive to try. I used to use Scotch adhesive like everybody else, and then everyone tried the fine liner bottles, and I haven't tried it at home, but I've tried them at work before in the past, and I just don't like it. So they're just kind of hard to squeeze, and anyways, it's not a big deal. I just don't like them. So the Nuvo adhesive is really awesome because it has this teeny tiny fine tip, and it just comes out at like the perfect pace of how glue should come out of a bottle. And so it's just, I love it. It's my new favorite. So now I stuck down the year from the picture with some little tile alphas from a million years ago. And then I pulled out these little wood veneers. They are from Jen Hadfield's fall collection. I think I used them on a layout you'll see either last week or earlier this week. But you can, I don't know if you watched, if you saw, but I trimmed off a little piece of the leaf so that it would tuck under the acorn better. And if you use like big scissors and just put it down towards the hinge of the scissors, it's really easy to cut through. And then it didn't really matter because it was hidden behind the acorn, so it's not like you saw it didn't mess it up. And then I just used liquid adhesive to glue those down. And then now I'm scattering these little sequin guys. And they are from Maggie Holmes, the Carousel collection. And they've already got some adhesive on the back. which it peels off. If you try to just pull off the sequin, it kind of peels off, but if you use your fingernail under the back, it comes off pretty well. So I'm just sprinkling little bits all throughout there. And I kind of move those around for a while. The reason I don't like things to line up, either up and down or side to side, so I try to keep everything kind of offset with the little sprinkly bits. I don't know, I'm kind of OCD and weird about it, but it's hard to explain. Anyway, so I just printed out my journaling. It's just the regular font that comes up whenever you open a Word doc, and I just typed it. It's like 12-point font, I think, just the regular or whatever. And I typed each sentence on a line so that I could either do them all the same, like leave them all as single lines, or I could cut them in half and it would kind of line up, hopefully right. There's a couple that aren't full sentences that if it had a comma, I would skip down to the next line as well. So I just cut those on my trimmer lengthwise, and then I'll use my scissors to cut the ends off. And this one wouldn't quite fit across, so I had to cut it in half. Not exactly in half, I cut the top piece a little shorter, but. And then using that Nuvo adhesive just to glue those down as well. And I'll just do a couple, and then, yeah, there we go. We fast forward. So you didn't have to watch that whole thing. And then we're finished. So guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit like. And if you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to ask. I'm always happy to answer anything. And if you are not subscribed yet, hit subscribe if you'd like to see more videos from me, and hit the bell notification so you actually know when I post new videos. And if you want these printables, there's a link in the description below. You can click it. It's just a PDF download that you can download, save, print, cut out, use as die cuts, whatever. If you do use them, please post pictures and tag me at Shadney so I can see what you make. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful day and happy scrapping. Bye.